our kitchen, and we'll also be able to invest in
Hi, David.
and create a team that's going to help these businesses grow. Because in a lot of neighborhoods, you don't see any Black-owned grocery stores. You don't see too many Black-owned franchises that exist around our country. And
Meryl? Hi, I'll unmute you. Hey, Meryl.
Hello. Who is David?
I think it might be David Ricketts. Again,
Great.
he's joined us a couple of times.
Great. Okay.
I'll ask though. David, can you hear me?
Not yet, apparently.
Let me chat to him.
Okay. Trying to decide whether I'm cold or warm.
Okay, he can hear us. So David, we need your last name. So you can unmute yourself or just write it into the chat. Okay, it is Ricketts.
Okay. Welcome.
Still have 5 minutes before we start.
Okay.
I will just rename David so it's helpful for the secretary. And the minutes I have on my computer screen. So it's gonna, I didn't have time to put everything in a folder before, so I'm gonna be going back and forth to the to email. But let me just try to share the screen now. Meryl, you can hear me, right?
I can, yeah.
Okay, let me just try and go to, so I can, if I click that, do you see that?
It just says, well, oh.
You
now I
don't.
do. Yes, great.
Okay. So I think I'm just going to leave it up there, and I think we can go to other things to share the screen. Let me just see. It would be nice to have an assistant that could do this.
Yes, I'm so sorry. It's not my forte.
I'm going to minimize that and try and go to, that's okay, Meryl. No one likes doing this. I think even the people that know how. We're in the Historical Commission. Can you see the screen now? Do you see the Gmail interface or whatever it's called?
All I see are the minutes.
Okay. All right, I see more participants, so I'm gonna let them in. I see Denise Quealy. I think that's the only person who's joined. So we're still, well, it's still not. Welcome, welcome,
Hi,
Denise.
Oh, we can't hear you. Oh, do you have her on mute?
Nope, I have it unmuted. But maybe her volume is.
There's also, there's a mic, at the bottom of the screen, Denise, that says mute. You might want to click on it.
Okay,
Can't hear you.
She just closed out, so maybe she'll come back in. I don't see any.
Do you usually send a reminder to other members of the commission that we're meeting, or do you just assume that they know the date?
Oh, I have in the past. I don't do it every time, and I'm using Bob's computer, and I just got a new phone, so I'm kind of in between. I'm not with my usual computer, so I'm doing everything kind of. little on the fly.
I-
But usually, I mean, Carol, they all know it's the first Wednesday of every month at 5.
Yeah, yeah.
But it's worth sending an email. Oh, here's Denise again. I'll try and get an email to them now.
Okay. So do you want to have the minutes up there? Because that's what everybody sees right now.
Okay.
Can you guys hear me?
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh,
thank you.
good. Sorry, I had to restart Zoom. It was telling me, so sorry about that.
That's
That's
okay.
all right.
Thanks for doing it. Glad it worked.
No worries.
All right. So we are now going, because we don't have a quorum and we're getting close to 5 o'clock, I'm going to send an email to the others.
For quorum, this is Jean Bowden. How are you?
Hi, Jean.
Good.
I'm here for Capizzi Home Improvement and 36 East Commercial Street. I think I mean, I'm like, I'm on there though, I can tell you.
You are.
Yeah, 36 East Commercial Street. Are you gonna still do the meeting or not?
But
We
we're
have
waiting
to have-
to see if the other
we have to have
commission members.
quorum.
All right. I mean, I understand if you have to do what you have to do. It's kind of, it's the way it is. So,
I'm going to send them the link from the town website, so they'll have that as well.
I have my other. Be right back.
Meryl, do you have the phone numbers of any, like of Carol, for instance, maybe? could reach
Why don't
her?
I'll put myself on mute and see if I can call people.
Yeah.
Is that okay?
Yes, that'd be great. Thank you.
How are you tonight?
I'm doing well. How are you? Is that Jean?
Yes, I mean, how are you this evening? I guess it's not tonight yet. It's still early. Oh, well.
I'm not a commissioner. I'm just presenting first. So I just.
Oh, okay.
How are you, Jean?
Good, good. Oh, there I am with my
There you
fake background.
That's pretty cool. I like it.
Well, I took that picture of the swans in Katuitt,
Very
like on
nice.
the Katuitt Mashpee line, before I had like another scene.
Very nice.
All right, looks like we've got our quorum. We have Lucas and Tom Sidja joining us, so that's great.
Oh, good. I don't have Carol's telephone number. I'm sorry.
Okay.
Do you want to try to call her or should we just go with the quorum?
Yeah, I don't know if it's going to be in my new phone. That's the problem. One slight problem. I did just email her, so
Okay. So we should go ahead since we
yeah,
have.
she's not in my contacts.
Okay.
So Muriel, do you want me to get the agenda up on the screen?
That would be great. I do have it though. So
Okay.
we don't need to because Denise sent a number of things that we'll need to look at.
Okay, why don't I try and get to that?
Okay.
My email there.
Um,
And that up.
So welcome, everybody. Thanks for being here. We're going to be talking about Denise and Desmond Quealy's new property on 75 Pine Point Road. And thank you for the additional designs that you sent to us, Denise. Appreciate it.
No worries. I'm hoping they meet with your approval. When we last spoke, it seemed like the only remaining item was to indicate on the plans that the addition is the ridge or the roof or the size of it is lower than the original structure. So I had asked Alan to convey that on the plans. And I don't know if you want to bring them up, but on the first, they do convey that. On the first page, 104, it shows it lower. And
I'm sorry, Denise, hold on one second. I think
Sure.
Lydia was planning to put them up. Are you
Okay.
able to, Lydia? We can't see them.
I know, I'm trying to get it on the screen.
sure, sorry about that. I don't see the whole screen, so I don't know whether you're looking at it or not.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
So this should work. Tell me if you see it.
It just says Wellfleet. Oh, there it
Yep,
is.
there
Hooray.
it is.
Good.
Yep. So these are the new plans, and they're dated August 28th, I believe they say. I did drop them off at Town Hall with all the other documents again. So it's the same plan as last time, but it shows that the ridge or the roof height is lower, as you can see on the addition on the left.
Mhm.
It's slightly lower
Mhm.
than the main house.
How much
so
lower is it?
my concern, you know, our concern was that, you know, the lower you make a roof pitch, the less space you have inside. So it can really, even though you may take down, you know, the roof a foot, it could mean a lot for the inside space. So we were just concerned that, you know, we just wanted to make sure, because it's a low roof as it is, because it's a Cape Cod home. You know, we just wanted to make sure it was still usable, and I think it will be. You know, upstairs. So the last page kind of shows the dimensions inside the finished space once this is built. So the plans are the same as last time. The only difference here is that it's showing a lower roof line.
Mhm.
And can you tell us how much lower the roof line is from the original historic house?
I don't know how much lower it is. It doesn't say exactly the measurement.
And do you know what your ceiling height is inside?
I don't know the ceiling height inside. All I have are the dimensions inside of the house. Because of the Nantucket dormer on the front and the dormer on the back, it does, you know, allow for hopefully some headroom that will be usable. But on the last page of the plan, it shows the dimensions that are usable, if you will, in that space on that second floor in the addition.
I'm sorry, Lydia, can you show that last page?
I'll
with the
try.
dimensions?
So I think it's page 1 of 4. I think there's 4 different files, Lydia, sorry about that. So it would be,
It's okay. It's just when I go to a different page, I have to stop the current share, open the,
so page 3 of 4, if you want to go to that first, just to go in order. Page 2 of 4 hasn't changed anything at all. Page 2 of 4 was just the existing side rendering of the home. So that hasn't changed at all because we haven't done anything to it. Page 3 of 4 is the side rendering with the addition.
and that's what you'd like to go to now?
Sure.
All right, let me
Please.
try. Do you all see it? It should.
Yes.
Okay.
So it just shows, you know, the slightly lower addition compared to the main house. You can kind of see it in the background type of thing. So it is not that, it's not a whole heck of a lot lower. You know, maybe a foot to match the foot that we set it back. But again, our concern was that we were, you know, we're also talking about making it higher. I know you didn't ask for that, but we wanted to set it apart as much as we could, but without taking away inside finished space. Because once you start, you know, lowering that roof line, you're going to lower the amount of space inside.
Mhm.
So the last page, page 4, shows,
I'm just going to zoom in for a second.
sure.
So now I'm going to stop the screen share on this page and go to the email again. Now this is the plan, so that's not what we want, is it? We'll have a look at this.
It would be page 4 of 4, I think it says.
Yep, that's what this is, okay. So just a moment. Let me see if I can make this a bit bigger.
That's great, Lydia.
Okay.
So that section off to the top right is new. That wasn't in the prior plans. It's just to show the second floor finished dimensions, if you will.
Mm-hmm.
You know, once you take that roof down and, you know.
Lydia, did you lower it? Because it just went off screen when you raised it.
How about like that?
A little lower? Perfect. Thank you.
How's that?
Yeah.
Okay, sure.
So it's 15 by 18 by 22?
I think it's 22 and a half, and let me,
I guess it's 18 where the dormers are.
right. And maybe 15 in the backside, the dormer on the backside.
Oh, because of the closet, it looks like. Are those closets on the backside?
No, I think those are just eaves.
Oh,
So,
yeah, because of the dormer. Okay.
right.
Yeah, okay.
So I believe it's just a 15-foot dormer on the back, and then the front usable space at that point in the room is 18,
Okay.
and then 22 and a half going from front to back.
Okay.
I wonder if Tom or Luke have anything they'd like to say. I can. Tom, are you muted?
Yes, he is.
Okay. Maybe we could have the historical commission members unmuted.
I'm unmuted now.
Okay, thanks. And Luke, you too?
I think I'm unmuted, right?
Okay,
You are.
great.
Yeah.
Let me check the participant screen really quick in case there's anyone in the waiting room. There's not. Okay, so that's all of the commission members are here. Well, I mean, I feel like you did do what we asked you to do, which was to lower the roof line so it sets apart the original building from the addition. And I feel that's a good thing, that's important. Do you want to go back to that first picture, Meryl?
That would be helpful. Thanks.
All right, let me just see if I can, it would be really grand if I could just go like this, which I can, okay. So there on the bottom, you see the original. And then on the top, there's the addition. And the porch, it looks to me like the porch goes up, it's one long plane, is that right? The roof connects on the addition and the old part of the house?
It looks like it might step back just a little bit. There's a little, it looks like there's a jog in it to me, but
Okay,
I don't know from that elevation for sure.
all right.
Do you know, Denise?
I don't know for sure. I know that the addition steps back a foot, so perhaps, I'm not sure if it would step back or whether it can be cantilevered over, you know, having the posts be the same and just having the front be the same as well. I mean, what would be your preference? Do you have a preference on that?
I personally don't, but I don't know if the others do.
I don't either. I think if I were you, I would want it to go straight across.
Thank you. I noted that you live across the street, Meryl, and your porch is one that I admire greatly. So I will try to mimic that as much as I can, to be honest with you. So, but yeah, I will ask, you know, him about that. These are, we don't have detailed plans. Obviously, we didn't want to make that much of an investment. We wanted to show you, obviously, what we're going to do, but we have to still do building plans, from here, which are more detailed and, would involve a little bit more
Yeah.
work and thought in terms of like what's going on inside as well. So
I think in many ways it's an improvement on some of the elements that the house has right now, in its current condition.
Mm-hmm.
So I think
Yeah.
that's
I really appreciate the fact that you've done matching windows, that they all look more historic, and I think the porch and the floor to ceiling doors are going to be really nice for you in enjoying the view there.
mhm.
in this drawing, it looks like the porch starts, it's stepped in from this cornice here, right? I like that. I think it looks nice.
I think the side view is, it's so much better than the current view, to be honest with you. In the front, I think so. But of course I'm biased. So I think it's beautiful both ways, but we will try our best to ensure it fits with what you want and, the neighborhood. That's important to us.
We really appreciate that.
I think those small changes make it visually easier to pick up what the original house was. It doesn't look like just the addition blending totally into the original house. There's a little division there, just that foot jog and dropping the ridge beam a foot. And the front of the main house looks pretty much the same besides the farmer's porch. It looks dimensionally, the window layout and the front door and the chimneys, and getting rid of that large glass window. I can't remember if that's a bay window or if it's just a flat piece of fixed glass, but in any case, those double hung windows, I think, look a lot nicer.
Yeah. Tom, do you want to weigh in?
No, I'm good. I like the change. I think the change, as Luke just said, distinguishes the original and the new. Kind of neat.
So shall we put it up to a vote?
Sure.
Sure.
Who wants to make a motion?
I make a motion to accept the plans as is.
I'll second.
Shall we just vote one by one?
Sure.
Meryl votes aye.
Lydia votes aye.
Tom votes aye.
Luke, aye.
Congratulations, Denise.
Awesome. What am I going to do in October?
I don't know.
You can come anyway, but you don't have to.
No, I sincerely appreciate all your thought and the hard work that goes into what you do in preserving a very special place on earth. So thank you so much, and we look forward to eventually seeing this come to fruition. So thank you very much, and good luck with everything you have on the agenda.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I really appreciate your work on this.
Thank you. Take care now. Alan will be very happy to hear it. No, thank you so much. Take care.
Take care.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Okay.
Okay.
Meryl, I'm going to stop the share now and go back to the emails. So
Okay.
I'm going to close out of the close out of this and go to Jean's email here. Now, Jean.
Okay. Do you want to skip we have, for the second and third items, we have 20 Briar Lane and Route 6. Do you want
I
to
think we should
and go to
skip
Jean?
those because Jean's here and she's
Great.
You. For the windows. I tried to do a, take your format and answer each of the questions and give you as much detail as I can about the house. And I work for Capizzi Home Improvement, and the homeowners have decided they would like to replace the windows in the house, and we're going to do it with, the windows that are most close to what's there, which is the Anderson with the not the true divided lights, but the simulated divided lights with the spacers, and they'll be in the same grill configuration. So,
Okay, I'm gonna get the file open now.
yeah, I kind of, and I do have the Anderson windows proposal from Shepley, and I also included the specs on them, and I gave you pictures of the existing.
All right, I just want to make sure I get the right file open. So this is it.
36
just,
Commercial Street.
yeah. Just a moment. Okay, so this is the standard project questions.
Yeah.
And then this is the mansard roof house on East Commercial Street.
And a lot of these windows
I
have,
remember Bob Burns lived there.
I'm sorry, can you stop there, Lydia, where the windows are described?
Should I scroll up?
Where it says to replace 12 existing windows?
Okay.
So I'm a little confused because it says exterior grille pattern and true divided lights. Maybe I don't
I
understand
may have
windows.
actually shouldn't have written, I probably put the description. It's basically, and I actually have the, finally today they did give me this, and basically it's going to be a white exterior and white interior, and it's going to have permanent to exterior and interior with spacer bars. So basically, they're on, I'm sure you've seen these before, where they're on both sides of the window, in and out. So it looks like the old-fashioned windows with the individual little grills. And some of the windows are already like that. They're not that old. Some of the windows in there are newer than other windows. I think they've had people over the years doing, replacing things and replacing windows. And we're going to be basically matching the exact grill configuration that's in there the way it is. He didn't want to put any grills, and he has to, though. We told him he has to match what's there.
Mhm.
So the other thing is they want to trim it out with AZAC trim to painted white. So it's painted white trim now, but they would like it to be the AZAC so it holds up and it looks like wood. But I don't know how you feel about that in this situation, because it does last longer. You really can't tell. I'm going to turn something off real quick. I'm sorry.
Okay, go ahead.
What is going on? I think I included the information from the fill on the floor, actually. The type of window. It's the 400 series.
You did.
Sorry, I had to get something.
And if you look at the pictures, they quite do need the windows are in good shape. They're kind of inside and out. And they have, the way they are now, they've got the 2/1 anyway. So that's quite popular now. Anyway, people are using that on all the houses now. That's very popular in historic districts. Old Kings Highway, South Dennis Historic. So I know that they're sort of upside down.
Yeah, sorry, I don't know if I'm going to
That's
be able
okay.
to move
I
that.
put it, I sent it to you, but
Yeah, this often happens.
can you see it?
Yes. So the plan is to have that plan, the two on the top and the one on the bottom?
Exactly the way it is now. They're gonna match these windows that are in there as close as possible. I mean, for modern windows that are energy efficient.
Yeah.
And I think that's probably the best one for that type of house. the Anderson.
The trim is pretty distinctive. It's decorative. And I know that some preservation architects, preservation builders, sometimes they take the new composite trims and try and
Duplicate.
modify it a bit because it is very sharp edges, unlike the existing.
Right.
But Luke, you might have some experience with that. I mean, I'm sure originally the wood had very sharp edges too. It just takes time to.
Well, it can be sanded some, and I think that pretty much any trim detail can be duplicated in AZAC or Coma or one of those brands. There's a lot of different products out there. It's kind of a matter of taking the time to find and order the stock that'll work to duplicate what you have originally.
One positive thing is that the storm windows will be gone, right? With the newer windows, they're not going to have the storms on top.
Windows, I think.
And the storms are probably, they're probably from the 40s or something like that.
Maybe no. And then I noticed, like looking at the front, there's some like boards that are missing. I'm pretty sure they're going to fix that. If you look,
Yeah, I would think.
Part of the window, but I'm looking at, the boards that are missing, like around that door area.
Yeah.
This window here is particularly unusual.
Yeah, I don't know if that's one we're replacing, but we would like to eventually do all of them. And I'm trying the description I put down what he was replacing. And I'm not sure. I have the window order actually here, and I don't see that one.
This window, to me, this seems very inappropriate.
That particular window might.
Large.
Yeah, this one you mean?
Yeah, it's out of scale, and it seems like I don't quite get it.
Put that in there years ago when they didn't have a historical commission, I guess.
Right.
So I mean, I'm sure he's going to want to replace that one, and then we can come up with something that's more in keeping with what is done. He can't do them all at once, but he wants to do them and these particular ones first because they are in the worst shape. They're, air is leaking through. It's just they're a mess, really.
Mm.
Seems like the place, especially for the winter coming.
And so will they keep the trim the way it is, such as on that window to the right of the door?
Well, I would, if you'd like that. You mean like the little thing over the top of it and everything?
Yeah.
Well, just say you want that and I'll make sure you get it. It's just...
to me, that's part of what makes the house historic and charming, and that's part of what I love about the houses in Wellfleet in general, are the door trims and the window trims. So
yeah, and let me look at what we wrote here on the proposal. So basically,
there was a whole article about brackets, these kind of brackets in the
I'm sure they can
local
make
paper recently. Oops.
They're not going to want to ruin the look of the house. Believe me, because the man seems like he cares about it. I actually have some pictures of the insides of the windows, which I told him that didn't, but they are really a mess when you look at them from the inside too. So
Bear with me here, I'm trying to get that.
That was a very nice email she sent me. Can you see that?
yes.
It's very nice.
And just go back to, well, I mean, even though these pictures are sideways, there really is a lot of detail here.
Well, exactly.
That we wouldn't want to be lost.
Maybe, I don't know if they'd have to either duplicate those or preserve them. I'd have to ask Bill Reese, who's the builder, on that.
Mm-hmm. So. Yeah, I think that's important.
To make the trim match, so it doesn't ruin that look for that kind of house.
We want to probably retain those parts and see if they can be restored.
It looks like maybe that head casing doesn't even necessarily need to come off to replace the window, but It's hard to tell without really getting into it.
Mhm. And how about the bottom casing?
Well, it says here, ASAC trim coverage on 4 pieces of trim near window, including exterior sills. But then it says no pediments and corner boards included, additional costs if you want them. So he's aware that he might have to do that. I mean, we didn't include it in our price, but I think the homeowner is made aware that if it needs to be done, he's willing to do it.
It doesn't say that they're retaining them, though. It just says it would be an additional cost.
I think they'd prefer to retain them. I think, because they probably have to be repaired a bit, I would think, or painted. So it's, I would say they're probably gonna put the new windows in, and I'm sure they'll do something with the tops of them.
Yeah. Well, we've come a long way with windows. You remember, Luke, in terms of the commission. They're making so many nicer ones now, but we always prefer, if it's possible, that they can be restored. I want to just show you, can you see me with these 2 sticks? So these were things that were part of a grill at I won't say which building, but it was right on Main Street, a commercial building.
Right?
And they were basically stapled together. And look at them now, it completely fell apart. And that's what was happening like 10 years ago. This was a specification, something, like this. And so we've really come a long way with the quality. And there are more and more people that are doing window restoration on the Cape as well. There's an excellent person in Orleans who did a door, my kitchen door here, and they did a wonderful job. She has an apprentice who's a Wellfleet kid. So I want, it's just a good thing to know that they are out there.
I think if these windows were really the original, I think these windows have been replaced over the years a few times. They're not like the ones that came with the house way back, I guess. They've been.
The 400 series and the A series and the 400 series are both good products, and they help with they retain the heat in the winter, and you don't need the storm windows on top of them. So if the windows were going to be, the existing windows were restored and then the old storm windows had to go back on top of them because they're still a single pane, that's in my opinion, it would probably be a better look to, if it's going to be a year-round house and they need to add a storm window, it might be a better look just to go with a new insulated window.
The Anderson inserts, right?
I've noticed some houses in the historic district have been using this style too, this 200 series.
This is the
The
400.
601 and yeah.
I think they've stopped making the 200 series
Well, I'd be surprised.
because it's like builder grade. They were putting that, like a lot of the houses had that, but the 400, and now they're doing the insert ones. So you're not disturbing anything. But I'm sure they're going to make it look, really nice, better than it is, and be more energy efficient. And it's a good product. And I will definitely tell him to be mindful of what's around it. I'm sure that he can work something out with him, how we can get that, make sure we keep that trim look around it, and so it looks good.
Yeah, this is Tom. I don't think that's an option. I think that's mandatory. He's got to keep that trim
Absolutely.
the way it is. The window, the 2/1, I'm fine with that. But and the 400 series is a good window. Save some energy, etc. But I don't think there's an option on the trim. I think that's got to stay.
Well, the one that's circled is an insert. So
Yeah.
you wouldn't be taking the trim off if you were using an insert, right?
Right.
Right.
Looks like they're gonna do some. I mean, that's the thing. I have to, but the other thing is some of the windows are not 2/1. If you look at them, some are 6/, you know what I mean? They're not all
Hodgepodge.
in there. They were gonna do exactly what was there.
So they're doing exactly what's there for all of the windows? They aren't making them uniform?
Well, I think that they're wanting to, well, some of them are different grills, I guess, so I have to figure out which are which, so. So I guess we have
I
to
think
match what you have in the house. So I think that if you look at the window over at that little window, I'm not sure exactly which windows they're replacing there too, actually. I mean, there's 12 of them. And
I
I
would
think,
say that this one would be a priority. This one that's it's actually on the side of the house. So I don't know, or is it the back? I don't know how visible that.
This is the rear, right?
yeah, that is the rear of the house.
Yeah, so it's not even that visible from the street, but that
Yeah,
that really is kind of,
now he wants the 12 existing windows on the first floor. This does not include the second floor kitchen window or basement window. So I don't know if this is one that's over the kitchen sink. I don't think so, though. I'll have to find out, though.
yeah.
Well,
Mostly,
kitchens are mainly in the back of the house, aren't they? On the older homes.
I think that is the back of the house, though.
Yeah, and I think that's probably the kitchen window.
The
I bet
ugly.
it is. It would make sense that a
I
big
think
window would be over the sink.
Want to get rid of that one eventually, too. It's like a big picture window.
Yeah, it's really not good.
At least you can't see it from the road.
Yeah,
At least he's going forward to fix the windows and everything.
yeah.
Yeah, that's great. Clearly the house needs some updating, and so it's wonderful that they plan to replace the windows.
Go back up to the front view, Lydia,
Yeah.
for a minute.
This one here.
The front, yeah. So
Yeah.
let's count the windows. There's 1, 2 on the right. I assume there's 1, 2, 3 in that front right of the door.
Mhm.
So there's 5. I really can't tell what's on the left side, but I
It
assume
might work in the picture that's over here. Hold on. Is it?
that's the
No,
back.
it's not any of this, is it?
No, that
The
must
box,
be,
is that the front box bay?
That's the front. I think that's the front box bay, isn't it?
Yeah, but that is going to be replaced definitely because that's
Yeah.
when they pictured it. Someone was knocking at my door here.
Isn't it? I mean, tell me if I'm wrong, but aren't these originally, wouldn't they have been 2/2 double hung windows rather than?
And 2/1, or those are 2/2 on that side.
Yeah, it seems like that would be the original style, just judging from other houses in town. This one, sometimes they,
Those are 2/2 up top.
Yeah, we're not doing the
Yeah.
top ones immediately though. That's the thing. But this is definitely on the right. I think the 2/1. But
so
mean,
I took a picture of the house today, so I think I can tell you how many windows there are. In the front, there are those 2 bays, so that would be 3 each, that's 6. On
okay.
the side, there are 2. I assume there are 2 on the other side, so that would be 10. And then what do we have on the back?
So we're doing 12. So maybe what I should do is have him specifically, the builder, tell me, like, circle the ones they're doing,
Yeah.
so I'll let you know.
that would be good.
Yeah, take these pictures and say, I want exactly which ones you're doing, and then they would, then maybe when they go to do the next group with them, would that make it, we'd still have to go back to a meeting, or it would be let's say he decides to do the rest of them in the spring.
Well, you could plan for all of them and specify what would go in, and then you could do the project in 2 parts.
Right.
Do you think
Yeah,
that maybe
I
that's,
think,
and
Mara, I think you got 10 windows, and then the 2 in the back are the smaller window
Well,
near that big kitchen window, and the one on the right.
I bet you're right, because it said it didn't include the kitchen window, and that's
Right.
more likely to be the kitchen window. Yeah.
I mean, I'm just gonna throw something out. I would suggest he do a plan for all the windows. And then we approve or disapprove, and then what he does with the contractor, we don't care if he does them all at once, do we?
Right. Well, that's kind of what I put in there, that he, because I was told that he wants to do the rest of them, but right now he can only afford 12.
No. Yeah, but we don't care about, do we care? We don't care if he does 12 today and 13 and 14 like 2 months from now.
Right, and then it's just they're all express building permits anyway, so they're pretty quick to get.
Yeah.
I guess the tricky part is if we want them to do a different design for the kitchen window and they aren't asking to do that now, how do we handle that?
Well,
that's what I'm saying. I think we ask him to do the kitchen window now and all the other windows, and then, specify what trim he's going to do. And we can approve it all at once, and then what he does with the contractors is up to him.
So what we can do is find out what he would do with that kitchen window, even if he do the work immediately.
Yeah, I think if he leaves the kitchen window or keeps it modern with all the other changes, it would be a big mistake.
Yeah.
So, maybe the architect can give him some recommendations on, here's what I suggest. But I think we're talking here, I think all these windows are 2/2.
Yeah, I think you might. I'm looking.
I think so too. Yeah. So the one that's circled in the specification isn't probably what will end up being in there. This one here, which is for
that's the brand. That's not what the configuration is.
Oh, okay.
I was looking at the. I'm looking at this thing I got from Shepley, and it does show different. I have to talk to him about this because he just sent this to me, and it doesn't look like they're. The description says 2/2, but the actual pictures they're sending me does not show that. So I will make sure that they're 2/2.
Okay.
Well,
Mira, what do you think we could put Jean on the next agenda, or Jean, do you want to come back in October or November?
Yeah, I think he wants to get going before winter, so I don't know how
so October.
Yeah, we have to do it. So I'm going to end up with another agenda, I can tell.
Yeah. Well, and do we want to
unless you just want to tell us what you want and they'll just do it. I mean, that's up to you, so you don't need us back there.
I think we should probably meet about it again in October because there are too many unanswered questions. What do the rest of you think?
I'm going to have the building contractor guy, Bill, be on the meeting. How's that?
Great.
And with the photographs, if they could have all 4 sides.
I could have a picture of each window he's going to replace.
Yeah. The ones on the second story, I mean, the ones up in the roof, mansard roof part, they're smaller.
Yeah, they were not designated to replace.
I wonder if you're going to be able to find. They aren't. Okay. I was wondering about that, and also about the storms that are probably.
Yeah, we'll get rid of those storm windows.
Yeah.
I'm just going to tell them you need more information. How's that?
It's a beautiful house. It's going to be great.
Yeah, it is beautiful. Yeah.
A little more information about the grill patterns and the trim around it. How they're going to handle that detail. How's that?
Mm-hmm.
That's great.
Great. Thank you, Jean.
Can you email me something so I can give it to them, like just to say like a little outline of this? Like
yeah. We should write a memo, I think, that we're going to continue it.
I'll have a little meeting with him. I mean, I feel like I failed a bit here not getting this to go through, but on the other hand, I think it's confusing because I didn't really understand which windows. It's really hard to tell. I only went by the pictures that they took, which is like this one, which is 2. You can see those are the 2/2.
Can't see the picture.
Well, that one right here doesn't. See what
we can't see what you're showing us. It's blending in with your background.
Okay. I think I included that picture.
Nothing like Zoom.
I'm getting used to Zoom. Hopefully not forever. I hope it doesn't like this forever. I actually liked coming up there to the little library and doing that meeting I was at once before. It was kind of fun.
Oh, yeah.
So, all right.
Good.
Okay, well, we'll look forward to speaking with you further.
I'll talk to him about it tomorrow.
Thank you.
All right, thank you for your help. And,
Thanks.
All right, great.
October, right?
Yeah.
October, yeah,
All right,
first
thank
week.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
I'm gonna stop share on that. And,
Okay.
Yikes.
okay.
So
It's
I
hard
try to
looking
push it
at these
along.
pictures. It's hard to focus sometimes.
Yeah.
Get off the Zoom. By the way, my mother died a couple days ago, so I'm a
Oh,
little dippy, just so you know.
sorry.
Oh, dear.
94 and a half, and she was in a nursing home, but still.
Wow.
Yeah, so
Condolences.
my brain is not right. Just
Yeah.
happened Sunday.
Yeah.
All
I'm
right,
so sorry,
So
Jane.
sorry.
thank
All
you.
right. We'll look forward to seeing you next in October.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Okay. So shall we go on to the next item?
Yes.
Okay. So the next item, I guess, would be 20 Briar Lane, going backwards.
Yeah. Oh my
Okay.
gosh, you know what we don't have? I just realized is since Carol Ubriaco, our secretary, is not here, we're not. The minutes we'll have to reconstruct from listening to the tape. So I'm taking notes as well, but we will have to have minutes from this meeting. So any votes we can record. We haven't voted yet.
Oh, good.
Oh, we did. No, wait, we voted. We did
Yeah,
vote on the,
Denise.
yeah, and Denise is
Yeah.
on the Quealy project. So
And let's see,
narrow.
I made the motion and you seconded it? Was that right?
Tom seconded it.
I
think
seconded it.
We all voted. Okay. All right, that's good.
Okay. So moving forward?
Yes.
Okay. So I contacted Maya, or sent Maya and Thor 2 emails to check in with them after our meeting with the people from the Cape Cod Commission, showing them the various designs. They have not gotten back to me. And I asked them in both emails to let us know, to let us know whether they would be able to attend either this meeting or the meeting in October. We haven't had any feedback from them about the designs. And so I am hoping that they will attend the meeting on the 7th of October, but I don't know if they will because they haven't gotten back to me. The second issue is that I contacted Rebecca Eldridge, who's the secretary for the planning board, to find out what's happening with their materials that, because originally they had gone before the ZBA, and then the ZBA voted a continuance until they met with the planning board. And Rebecca got back to me and said that the planning board will not meet until, as she puts it, until they are allowed to restart public meeting. I think what she means by that is they don't want to do Zoom meetings, and they want to wait until we no longer have to do Zoom meetings. So they haven't met since January.
What was the exact wording? Until they are allowed to?
She said, I have been in touch with the planning board. The planning board will meet on this, 20 Briar Lane, when we are allowed to restart public meeting. Any paperwork will need to be presented at that time, not before. As far as the board understands, the applicant, in other words, Maya and Thor, will withdraw their application to the appeals board and resubmit when we can have public meetings.
Meryl, that's our planning board?
That's our planning board. They haven't met since January.
So that could be a year from now, 2 years from now.
It's very concerning. But
that means that means the project is dead in the water. Right? Besides our 18-month hold, the planning board still has to approve it, which means that could go beyond 18 months. Correct?
Correct.
Yikes.
However, what they want to meet with the planning board about is not anything that has to do with a compromise with us. It's their plans to demolish the house and rebuild. Um, and
Yeah, but that says to me, wait a minute, I can't do anything till why would I even demolish the house or even want to demolish the house if I got to wait indefinitely? Wouldn't that give us wouldn't they really want to work with us now?
It doesn't appear that they want to work with us since they're not returning my emails. But I will email them again.
Thank you for keeping on with that, keeping on.
Yeah.
That's the best we can do. I mean, that's what we're supposed to do.
Yeah.
I'm concerned about the planning board because I feel that there's a lot of things in the pipeline that probably would like to have come to a resolution, not just us, not just 20 Briar Lane. And if they're not able to conduct a Zoom meeting and they're not able to meet in public, what about due process and what about the right to be heard?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because it means there's going to be, I assume there's going to be an enormous backlog of things that need to be dealt with if they haven't met since January.
Yeah.
Um,
It's something I think they really should reconsider. They should somehow get together and I don't know, discuss
is
it
there
again.
anything, well, I did just ask Courtney if she was aware that they weren't meeting because, we haven't, the new town administrator has just started. And Courtney said she is aware that they aren't meeting. So I assume that it will be discussed with the new town administrator and they'll decide how they're proceeding. But
Yeah.
it is concerning for the whole town. And it is, the other piece that regards us is we submitted a number of things to Rebecca, assuming that 20 Briar Lane was going before them, back after they met with ZBA. And now she's asking us to resubmit, but we need to wait to resubmit until we know that they're meeting because I asked if she could just keep the materials that we had submitted on file, and she asked us to resubmit so that she can start a full file for us. So I'll check with her and be sure about whether we need to wait, like Maya and Thor need to wait, or whether we should submit ahead of time. I imagine we want to wait because we don't really know when it's going to be going before them and what will have happened between now and then.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, okay.
I would have loved to have heard from Maya and Thor about what they thought of those, the illustrations that were presented. That was a lot of really good work there.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay, shall we move on? Any other comments about that from anybody?
No.
Okay. And then the next one is Route 6 Main Street improvements, the Stantec proposal.
Okay, I'm gonna get that on the screen.
I'm not quite sure why this is coming before us.
Well, it concerns the historic district because of the Main Street.
Oh, okay.
They're going to have a sidewalk along reconstruction of Route 6 at Main Street intersection.
We can't see it, Lydia, right?
I know.
Okay.
I need a little time to
Okay.
get it on the screen.
No worries.
Now I'm going to share screen. And here it is. All right.
Great, thank you.
Sure. Tell me when you want me to scroll down.
You can scroll for me. Okay with Luke and Tom?
Yes.
Okay. Can you stop there? Whoop.
Yeah. Do you want to read it aloud or?
Sure. I can't see the first paragraph, but I'm not sure that matters. Shall I start with the purpose of this project?
Yes.
The purpose of this project is to implement roadway safety improvements and provide accommodation for all modes of travel. The project extends along Route 6 for approximately half a mile from about 700 feet north of the Main Street intersection west to the end of the future Cape Cod Rail Trail extension, which is 250 feet south of Oriole Lane. The project also consists of the reconstruction of approximately 450 feet of Main Street. Route 6 is currently envisioned to be reconstructed to feature one 11.0 foot wide travel lane and a 6 foot wide shoulder in each direction. Proposed Route 6 improvements also include a southbound left turn pocket at the Cahoon Hollow Road intersection and left turn pockets in both directions at the Main Street intersection. Bicycle accommodation will be provided on the roadway shoulders of Route 6. Pedestrians will be accommodated on a 10-foot wide sidewalk on the easterly side of Route 6 and a 5-foot wide sidewalk on the westerly side. Proposed improvements on Main Street include 11-foot wide travel lanes, 5-foot wide shoulders, and a 5.5-foot wide sidewalk on the northerly side of the street. A locus map featuring the proposed project is shown in Figure 1. It is anticipated that this project will be supported, well, we don't care about that part, right? Do you want me to read the whole thing?
No, we don't care.
Okay.
Yeah, in part by federal funds. Okay, so it's got funding from the federal government.
Yeah. So can we go back to the plan itself up above?
I don't think it's there. I think it's below.
Yeah,
Here?
that starts with the purpose, the part. Whoop.
Oh, you want to go back to the purpose statement? Okay, sorry.
Well, I don't know. Or do we want to look at the map?
Yeah, there's well, it sounds to me like there's a sidewalk. It's amazing that they can get such a sidewalk on Main Street on the northerly side, but I think it's a very good thing. 5
Yeah,
foot
it's so
wide.
walking down Main Street
fine.
now.
Yeah.
What type of decision are we supposed to
Thank
come
you,
up with?
Luke.
I mean,
Well, it says we request that you review this letter at your earliest convenience and provide any comments that you wish to make regarding the project.
well, you know, when it went up in the town meeting, it was met with pretty much nothing but negativity from everybody in the community. So if we can help represent the community as a whole, I mean, it's already the state sounded like they were going to push us through no matter what the people from the town thought, and everybody from town listed a million reasons why this was a poor idea. And obviously there should be a safer way to get from the bike trail to downtown, but down the side of the highway. You know, in my opinion, most of the comments were extremely negative, and people were concerned for the safety of everybody, especially children and tourists and people who didn't ride bikes all the time. So
I guess my concern is that it's so unsafe now, and that this is having a sidewalk and having traffic calming pockets will make it safer.
yeah, it's definitely unsafe. But I think with all the curb cuts between the extension of the rail trail to the stoplight, with the different businesses, the number of curb cuts, all the traffic, you know, I don't know if you saw the whole town meeting, but I mean, there was strong the community as a whole strongly objected to it as proposed. And everybody agrees that there should be a safer way to get across and down to Main Street or downtown. But I mean, obviously, we're not going to vote on this and determine whether it can happen or can't happen. But I don't know what they're really asking for us other than to review it.
Well, they're looking at the intersection, not necessarily the sidewalk on Route 6, but more at Route 6 at Main Street improvements. But it does include the, you know, all the number of feet on the highway. So I guess it's everything in yellow.
Yeah.
I mean, I feel we could speak as individuals if you're not comfortable speaking as a commission. I think it's important to let them know your feelings, and you can say that you're, you know, speaking on your own as a individual, not as a commissioner, unless you all want to have a vote.
Yeah,
I think what we're looking for is comments.
sorry?
I think what they're looking for is comments from us. Do we have anything we want to get across to them as a commission?
Well, to me, it sounds like, you know, the state's going to make this happen. I just think that the voice of the community as a whole wasn't heard by the state. That would be my only comment.
Yeah, I think we got to be careful with this, because I could just see that the state comes back 6 months from now and says, well, the historical commission liked it, and you know, blah blah blah, this group liked it and that group liked it. So I agree with the public. I mean, there's outrage on this, and I really haven't been following it since the first meeting, but I'm concerned about safety.
So I'm just curious, why, I mean, without a sidewalk, how is that safer than with a sidewalk? I don't quite get that.
Well, I just think that I don't think that it's necessarily safer without the sidewalk, but the concern is more that now you have people thinking this, or assuming that this is a safe area to ride your bike on, or it's you know, that there's some sort of sign saying come out here onto the highway and turn right, and downtown Wellfleet is this way, and then, you know, how long is it before somebody gets clipped with a car coming into Cumberland Farms or PJ's or the mobile station, or it's just a super dangerous stretch of road. And I don't really see how they're finding all this real estate for the sidewalks and everything. I know that they've surveyed, and, you know, I'm not doubting that they're not capable to do their job. They're the experts when it comes to that. But you know, it seems to me like just putting a sidewalk on this treacherous stretch of road isn't going to really, you know, keep the public safer. It's going to invite the public to travel on the road. And I think everybody thinks that there should be a safer way, whether it's, you know, I mean, a bridge or something would be extremely expensive. I realize that. Maybe there's some land issues. They can't find another way to come a little bit further and take the bridge across the highway. But it just seems like it wasn't a project that the town and the community as a whole felt very comfortable with.
I've actually attended a number of the meetings about this, and I live on Pine Point Way, which is, you know, goes off of Pine Point Road. So our house is very close to all of this. What I appreciate about it is that what they're planning to do is no longer have 2 lanes going into one in both directions, because it's so dangerous. That's what makes it dangerous, especially because cars are go faster at that point because they want to pass other cars and get ahead before it turns into a single lane road. So they're making it safer in terms of that through that whole stretch. And it will slow down the traffic, which will be a total drag during the summer, but at least it will make it safer. I guess my concern is people ride their bikes up and down Route 6, whether or not there's a bike trail. And I'm concerned about the summer workers who come here who may not be able to afford a car and may not even be able to afford a bus. And it would be useful for them to be able to have a safer way to bike up and down. At the same time, I had an accident at Pine Point Road and Route 6. It was partly because the traffic was completely bottlenecked and a motorcycle came around the slow traffic really fast and smashed right into me as I was pulling out into Route 6. So I'm really, I'm worried about safety, and I do wonder about pedestrians and bikers with all the tourists who don't really understand all the different issues in that area, because it's a very unsafe area. The trouble is, I don't think there are a whole lot of other alternatives for making it safer, but something's got to be done there because it's horrible. It's really a death trap, that whole section.
Yeah, I think your point about the 2 lanes into one is a really good point, because it is like a drag race there.
Yeah.
Everybody guns it to get ahead. And I think that's
I go up Cahoon Hollow Road pretty much every morning because I go swimming every morning. And in order to cross Route 6, I always now take a right and then go up to Cumbies and turn around and come back and take a right again. And I do the same on the way back because it's too scary to cross Route 6 there. So I contacted them to say, can't you please put a light in there? But they won't do that because they're planning to have a light at Main Street and a light at the terminus of the bike trail.
The lights do a number of things. They stop, you stop, and they also slow people down.
Yeah.
So they can change the timing of a light down the road, say in South Wellfleet, or I don't know, another part of town, and that will have an effect on traffic, farther some miles away.
Yeah, and I do think that will slow down the traffic as well, that they're going to have a light in both of those locations, so people will have to slow down.
And the pockets are, I think that's a kind of traffic calming, a way to calm traffic that's used with great success in cities where there's a lot of pedestrians, cars, and bicyclists.
Yeah.
I think we do want to be pedestrian friendly. I mean, there are people that walk it a lot, and like think about also at Oyster Fest, how many people would walk between town and the Dunkin' Donuts area, or there was a lot of pedestrian activity there.
Well, I was interested to see that, with COVID this spring, there were a lot more people living here clearly than normally. And there were a lot of people walking by our house on Pine Point Way with takeout bags as soon as PJ's opened. So people were clearly crossing Route 6 to get takeout.
Yeah.
And I think it would make the town safer and more ecological if we could have more ways for people to bike and walk.
Yeah, safely.
My son was just here from. Sorry?
Oh, no, go ahead.
My son was just visiting us from Brooklyn. Unfortunately, he's now unemployed, so he was here for a month. And he was laughing at me because I was concerned about him riding his bike up to Great Pond to go swimming because he had to cross Route 6. And he was saying, Mom, I'm from Brooklyn. I ride my bike in Brooklyn all the time. The streets are really busy there. This is nothing. Yeah. So, I think it's also kind of a cultural issue that we're used to not biking along there, but
we should also, it'd be really nice to connect the Outer Cape community and through bike paths and so on. I don't know. There's one other point I wanted to also say. I noticed a bicyclist the other day. He was off of his bike and he was on the pharmacy side. Remember that pharmacy, if you're walking or biking, hey, it's, you know, you have to rely on the good graces of the motorist, because there is no crosswalk there.
Yeah,
There's no button you can press to say, you know, let me over.
yeah,
And there's 2-lane traffic right there. It's really scary.
yeah.
So you can be there quite a while just waiting to get across.
So I guess the bottom line is we shouldn't make a
I
statement in
think
the commission
the
because we have
bridge
different
is,
ideas.
yeah, yeah, that's true. I think, I mean, I think so. I feel like it's good to speak out the way you feel. If you want to do it as an individual, that's great. If you want to, we could say that we were divided, and that we prefer to speak as individuals rather than as a commission. If I feel it's nice to respond to the letter and to the effort rather than no comment at all. But that's the way I feel about it.
I think everybody's on the same page that it's a problematic area and there needs to be a safer way for the public to get into town and get around.
Yeah. And it's been like this, gosh, I mean, I had an accident in the early 80s there. And when that light was first put in, and there hasn't been, you know, there's been no improvements there, folks, since, you know, pretty much since then.
So do we want to, I guess, do we want to send a letter? And what do we want to say if we do that? Tom and Luke, what do you think?
I would send a letter back saying we appreciate the input and reviewing this with us. However, the commission individuals felt they would comment as individuals, something like that. Would like to comment as individuals versus as a historical commission.
That's okay with me.
Can we add that what Luke said, that we're all on the same page and agree that we'd like to see a safer intersection?
Yeah, sure. Definitely the 2 lanes going to 1 is a major improvement.
Yeah.
You know, I would, if I was commenting, I would say the same thing at Marconi Beach. You know, who thought creating 2 lanes so some moron can fly by you? You know.
Yeah.
Had to be some seed project guy. And you know, the other thing too, you know, I mean, why does it go to 45 miles an hour when in Eastham it's all 40?
That's
You know, that's enough. You know, then you start speeding up in Wellfleet. I mean, come on. I don't know who manages this stuff.
You've noticed, I'm just curious about your experience on the way to Provincetown and North Truro, you know, where the Shore Road goes off to the left. And they've done a lot of work there. I think they've made it 1 lane. Isn't that right, Luke?
Yeah, they took away the double lane.
Yeah, and I think it's better. I don't know. What's your experience? It feels a bit safer, at least it's clearly marked, and so you kind of.
Yeah, it's a nice newer section of road.
Yeah.
The lines are very visible. I don't think it's created any kind of headaches as far as you know, traffic getting through. It's all going to a single lane headed towards Wellfleet anyway, and then to Truro. But yeah, I don't think there needs to be a double lane in Wellfleet for that little stretch. Yeah, I just like, personally, I just like to think that the you know, it's that the community as a whole had more of a voice for the state proposed project that's right through the center of their community. But that's just me.
I guess I feel like there were several meetings about it, and there was a lot of discussion about it. So it's not that they weren't heard. The impression that I got is just that there weren't a lot of other viable solutions, because the group that was spearheading the effort against it wanted to go through area that actually didn't belong to DCR or DOT, so they didn't have that option.
Well, I think you're right. I think there's not a great solution. Absolutely.
Yeah.
They did bring up a roundabout idea, and it works pretty well in Orleans there at 28. One good, I mean, I know that people were crazy about, they were just, their head was, they hated the idea of the roundabout. But I know when I travel through it, the one in Orleans, I slow down and I'm very careful, and I think that's a good thing for people to kind of pause and look around them and then proceed. The other thing about that roundabout is a lot of cars go through. You're not coming to a complete stop like you do at a traffic light. And that's one thing I think a lot in the community totally missed. That what's going to happen at this light is you're going to come to a complete stop, and then you're going to speed up. Whereas with a roundabout, you're filtering through, just keep going, and a lot more cars can get through. So.
I think they said they didn't have enough space there for a roundabout. And looking at that map, I can see why, because they've got the salt marsh on one side, and then or Duck Creek, and then they have the pharmacy on the other side. So I think it's too tight.
It was the DOT or the engineers that were proposing it. I think it was the public safety that felt that it wasn't great for them in terms of the large fire trucks and things navigating that. But it was definitely, it was the state that was proposing that.
Okay.
Anyway, so just back to what I should write here. We're going to comment as individuals. We're all on the same page and would like to see a safe intersection. And I think we should also note that we are pleased to see that the 2-lane into 1.
Great.
It's going to be 2 lanes there into 1. And we'll say it in a more coherent way.
Okay, do we need a motion on that and to vote?
How do you feel, you guys? I make a motion that we respond to the engineers. Is it actually? Yeah, it is
Stantec.
Stantec. And that we look forward to commenting as individuals. But we are, as a commission, we're all on the same page and would like to see a safer intersection. I think just to bring up another issue, like historic district-wise, which is really where we should be commenting, because that's more in our wheelhouse. Do you feel the sidewalk on Main Street would be a nice thing, or do you think it would be something concerned about the design and the materials or?
I think the sidewalk on Main Street would be nice. If it was, especially if it was had a proper granite curb and, sidewalks can become costly, of course. Provincetown went over to all brick, most of the length of Commercial Street.
Right.
But just that raised lump of asphalt, I don't think is very historically accurate, and doesn't add that much to the town. But maybe it would be safer. I think it's too bad that I'm not a land surveyor or engineer or anything like that, but I think it's too bad that there's no way to extend the rail trail, even if we had a bridge or something, and just I think that would be historically more pleasing as far as the whole length of the rail trail so far kind of comes to Route 6 there, and then there's no proposal or no way to get across any further on it. And you can clearly see how it cut across the tail end of the harbor there. And
The trouble, Luke, is there's a house at the end of Way 68. They were allowed to buy from the railroad, this family, a long time ago. So they're right on top of where the rail trail would go.
yeah, well, I'm sure I'm not the first one to think that would be nice instead of dumping people out on the highway. But in any case, I just talking out loud. I'm not a huge fan, obviously, of dumping people on their bikes and families with young kids out onto the highway, whether there's a wider sidewalk or not. But I think, public safety is important. Now, who knows? Maybe it'll be the best thing that happened to that stretch of highway. But as soon as some little kid gets killed, everybody who said, told you that was a bad idea, they're going to be up in arms.
Yeah.
Well, it could happen, but it could happen now too. Let's hope it doesn't. But it is a scary place to be right now.
Yeah, I hope it gets safer. I agree with you, Luke, about the materials. So do we want to include that in the letter? Perhaps that we would. I'm trying to remember what it's like on the rest of Main Street. Is it a granite curb and a normal cement sidewalk?
Yeah, it is.
A few years ago, they did these small patches of brick and then poured cement and a granite curb. And then other areas of town, Holbrook Ave technically has a sidewalk, but it's just that asphalt sidewalk, and it's only a couple feet wide, and it's not really marked as a sidewalk or anything.
Okay. Yeah, that seems like the most important contribution maybe we can make is to talk about the materials, like you're saying.
Yeah.
So shall we
I
vote
think
on?
the granite is. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
No, I
can't
was.
hear
What were you saying, Lydia?
No, just agreeing with Luke that the granite curb would be an important element
Mm-hmm.
to the sidewalk.
So do we want to add that to the letter? Have a granite curb and then a sidewalk that's made out of concrete, not asphalt?
I guess. What's cement? Yeah. Trying to just kind of picture what the asphalt looks like. I know it's black, obviously, and then the cement is more like what's on Main Street with the brick patches that Luke was mentioning.
Yeah.
I think that probably what happened with the sidewalk through the center of town is, they wanted to introduce a little bit of brick to dress it up, but they probably didn't want to have the bill for a complete brick sidewalk and maybe the maintenance and upkeep. But, so I don't know what, if the sky's the limit with this or what, but maybe if the sidewalk was more in line with what they did a few years ago in the center of town, and that might be the way to go.
Mm-hmm. What I recommend is we make kind of notes, like we can say here are some general comments from our meeting, and list them, some of the comments that were made tonight.
Okay.
And then we send it around to the four of us, to the commission, and make sure that it looks good to everybody.
That sounds good.
Okay.
So then we won't vote on it. We'll just send the comments around and decide
Yeah.
after the meeting. Okay.
Yeah.
Is that okay with you and Luke and Tom?
Yes.
Yeah, sounds good.
Great.
And it's also, this meeting is being recorded, so we can look back at what we've talked about as well.
Okay. So the next item would be community preservation, and that's you, Tom, talking about the stipend for the intern and the Form B updates.
Okay. Sarah Weller is the intern, and she came as a recommendation to help out because she wants to be a historian or she wants to work in the historical area. So Lynn, I contacted Lynn, who's doing the Form Bs, and she's willing to take her on and et cetera, et cetera. And she's been very helpful, learning a lot, doing a lot of work. I talked to Mary at the CPC. We had enough money. We had $400. And we put the paperwork in. I should have heard today, but I did not hear anything from Mary. Today was the day that the town should have had everything approved and submitted so she can get the $400 check. I tried to take it out of our budget, but ran into some roadblocks. I guess I missed a couple of the selectmen meeting, but my understanding is they froze all the budgets. I don't know if you guys heard that at all. But, I reported that we had $1,000 the other day from Gene, and then all of a sudden I hear we have no money. So I don't know why we filled all that paperwork out for Dan Hort saying, here's our spending. I think, Lydia, we put $250 for July and $250 for September. But anyways, that's getting off the topic. But so the 400 is in. I'm waiting to hear, and it's coming out of the CPC budget.
Good.
Okay.
Okay.
Thank you.
Now, the other topic, Meryl, was the note I sent around about the additional projects that Lynn suggested we do for the
Yeah.
Form Bs.
Oh, the Main Street and Baker Street in Payne Hollow?
Yes.
Yeah.
I don't know if you guys had a chance to review that, or you're okay with that. It's basically, she's not really, she's deciding, but she's doing a lot of what Eric proposed a while back. So she's just duplicating his efforts. So she wants to go forward with these that she sent us.
And we're sure that these haven't been done before because we had that mix up last time.
Yeah. I don't think they've been done. I think now she has the proper paperwork that Lydia passed along.
Okay.
I think she had a prior one. That was the problem.
Okay. I did, I actually had fun walking around town today and went to all the Main Street and the Baker Ave properties. I didn't get to Payne Hollow. But I think it's a great idea to do so many houses on Main Street. I think it'd be wonderful to have all of those updated. And Baker Avenue.
I agree. I think that's an area to focus on. And of course, Payne Hollow, I think we've had so much turnover here. And a lot of renovation. So it'd be nice to take a look at those. And they got a lot of history. I mean, I talked to Buddy the other day, and he's still waiting on his house. He's still not sure what to do, but you got a lot of history here.
Yeah, I was noticing 2 of the houses on Main Street are for sale. So it seems like those should probably be priorities. 257 Main and 276 Main are both for sale.
257 and 276.
Yeah.
I think that's a good point. The places that that might be changed.
Oh, and the other one is actually 210 Baker Ave is also up for sale. I believe, I know that the actual Baker house was up for sale. I don't think it's been sold yet. And I'm pretty sure that one, the front porch gallery, I think they had a for sale sign in front too.
Mhm.
All right, so 210 Baker, 257 Main, 276 Main are
Yeah.
up for sale.
Do you know on Payne Hollow if any of those are for sale, Tom?
No, I don't. No, I know they're not for sale. There's no for sale signs out
Okay.
on Payne Hollow.
What about Mill Hill Road and some of these connecting roads? Like Baker Ave is an interesting connecting road. And then there's also off of Holbrook where the Crockett's are, that little off of Railroad Ave. There's some interesting places there as well. I think we should probably just double check what Eric has done and make sure that there aren't any duplicates.
Okay, well, I can, my comment back to her is just make sure there's no duplicates.
Mhm.
Um,
And how much time does she have to do these?
well, she thinks she's got a short turnaround time. And I don't know where I did not see, here's the issue with the town. They're writing contracts and I'm not seeing them. I don't know if you guys are seeing them.
No.
All right, so they send the contract to her, or they put out the proposal. Nobody sees it, and she believes she's got 2 to 3 months. And when I talk to Mary, Mary says that's not the way the CPC works. She's got years to do this. I mean, Eric was a perfect example. Eric never completed anything on time, quite honestly. So Mary says we have years. The town contract is totally different. I don't know. I can go to our attorney and ask her. I haven't even seen the contract.
I think
So-
we can ask for a copy of the contract. I'm sure it's public record.
Okay.
So we could do that. Just ask. I think it's Mike Travato, isn't it? Or would it be Mary that has it? I think Mike is the one who sends out requests for proposals.
Well, I can go right to Lynn and say, Lynn, can you send me the contract so I can see the terms and conditions?
Yeah.
And then I'll go to Mike or I'll go to the CPC and talk to them and see if, we got a problem.
Great.
And Meryl, just on a side thing, Meryl, you spoke with the town about posting some of the completed Form Bs, not on Macros, but through the town.
Did I?
Yeah, I remember your note, Lydia, on that. I never talked to Mike about that,
Oh, I thought was
posting it.
him.
Yeah, you thought Tom had. I didn't talk to them about posting it.
Oh,
No, I don't know where that came from, but I never talked to Mike about posting it. I know they went to the library and they went to the Macros database, but we didn't understand the Macros database and being behind so much because of COVID.
no, it was long before then that they were behind. They've been behind. I think they're doing the 2018 ones now for certain towns, but they're doing them for towns all over the state. So I guess they are short-staffed, but it's been a long, long time. It's not like they upload them right away. I guess they do a certain amount of research and maybe confirming some things, or they vet the Form Bs in some way.
Are the
Yeah.
Form Ds, are the new Form Ds being created digitally or are they still paper? Or are they only?
I'm surprised if they're not scanned in. I don't know what technology the government uses here in Massachusetts.
Well, no, I'm wondering for the new ones that Macros hasn't updated, for the Form Bs that we have, because there are many, right, that have been done since 2018. Are those just
There
paper
were-
copies?
I think with Eric, he was asking commission members to review them for typos, things like that. So they were in draft form. He used to send printed out copies with color, with separate, like tipped in color photographs.
Okay.
And we have them in digital form.
We do?
They're in Word, they're Word documents, so anyone can open and read them. They're in Dropbox. That's where we have them so we can share them amongst each other.
Okay.
Well, the first 12 we did, Meryl, I think you're the one that changed a couple typos that we had, if I remember.
Uh-huh.
And that was a good dialogue back and forth. And then
Those are
Lynn,
the good ones. Yeah.
then Lynn, adjusted the form and made the corrections. And we, sent him to the Commonwealth. I think it was
That's right.
13.
That was about the house across the street, the 70. The
Yeah,
one-
yeah,
yeah.
Yep. And I think that was the first group we did. Then she did then she sent the 22 through, I don't know what form. And I never even got to see them. But I can go back to her and say, we got to go back to the original so we all can review them. I know Carol was, did not want to get the app because it wasn't tied to Apple for security reasons. So she never got to see them. I honestly never got to see them.
So there should be a printed set that could be shared.
And is that printed set only in the library?
That's where they've been, but we haven't received any printed ones from Lynn.
Yeah, except for the first 12 or 13,
Okay.
because we did get to review those.
And so does that mean those aren't in Dropbox?
I don't think
They aren't.
so. Let me see.
I don't know.
Because it does seem like it would be helpful if there was a way that we could get all of them connected to our website. The town or the historical commission's portion of the Wellfleet website, so that people could more easily access it, especially because Macros isn't very user friendly. But I imagine we need somebody who's digitally sophisticated or somebody who has the time to just scan them in and.
Well, they are in digital format. They just would need to be uploaded to as PDF documents. It's something that apparently the town of Barnstable does. I think we could look at what they do and ask how they do it. At least Mike Travada said that's what he believes the town of Barnstable has their Form Bs on the town website.
Uh-huh.
All right. Well, why don't I get to her and ask her what she would suggest or recommend, so all of us could see them, give our approval or disapproval, or make spelling corrections, et cetera, and before they go into the Macros database. If they're working on 2018, we got plenty of time.
Well, yeah, and especially if it's going to take 2 years for them to be available to the public through Macros, it would be great
I
if we
agree.
could find a way to post it at Wellfleet.
Yep. Now for, I don't think I copied Luke on this, but Mara, you and Lydia know that she does have connections, this lady. And
Which lady?
she got Lynn, and she got 40 additional Form Bs for Wellfleet under the state budget. So we don't have to pay for those extra 40.
That's great.
That is nice.
Yeah, they had extra money. Of course, I told her the extra money should go to somebody to start putting these Form Bs in the Macros, but I'll take the free 40.
Yeah. That's
Anyway,
nice. Great.
that's all I have.
Okay, thanks. So do we want to follow through on the part about getting it up on the town website, or just to?
I recommend that we look at Barnstable and see what they did, and see how easy it is to use, and if it looks really good.
So
I
who's?
guess number one is ask Mike Travato. Was it, I believe he said Town of Barnstable has posted the Form Bs, the historic inventory forms on their website. Recommend we look at those and at our next meeting, by our next meeting, and then see if we want to do something similar, and also with Lynn's advice. There's some items, like if she could have them printed out, then we know that they're easier for Carol to proofread. They're easier to share with at the library when the time comes to put them into the binders. And they're also, the Historical Society is a place, if these things can't get on the town website, maybe the Historical Society is a place they could go. Even if they're draft, we can call them their draft, not finalized by the Mass Historical Commission yet.
Yeah, I don't know, Lydia. Creating another database, another file. I mean, who's going to track all this? You got to coordinate it in 4 areas now. You got to coordinate it with Macris. You got to coordinate it with the town. You got to coordinate it with the society. You got to coordinate it with the library. It's just, I don't know.
Well, if it's on our website, on our webpage within the town, just like some of our other policies and other things, the bylaws are on the town website. It could be a good place for them. Let's ask Lynn's advice, and let's look at what Barnstable does and see if we like it.
All right, I'll check with Lynn tomorrow or Friday.
Okay, thanks, Tom. Okay. And then the next item is update about the Instagram account. That Courtney Butler is amazing. She gave me an hour of her time to talk about social media in town and how to handle the Instagram account. And there are various legal issues, of course, like with everything about doing this kind of thing. So I'm looking for my notes, but basically she was saying that it could be problematic to list the actual addresses of houses in Wellfleet on Instagram. And she was originally saying that she thought, I found my notes, that she thought I should maybe have waivers and have people give me permission. And I started realizing that was going to be very cumbersome, especially because a lot of people who own houses in Wellfleet don't necessarily live here year round. So I asked her if she thought that at least with buildings that are on Form Bs that are already part of the public record, if it might be okay for me to go ahead and post things about those houses without getting waivers signed. And she said she thought it would be, but probably better not to include the address. I wonder about that because the address is public knowledge on Macris. And I wonder what you guys think about that, whether, I could just say, I don't know. I don't know whether it would be okay to say this house on Commercial Street and just not include the address.
Maybe that's a better way to handle it. Like, there might be an element of a house, like if it's the whole house, I think getting the permission would be good. If it's a portion of the house, then I think it's safe to say on Commercial Street or in the historic district, something like that.
Oh, that's a nice idea. Yeah. Because I was thinking about maybe doing themes like doorways of Wellfleet or WHC supports solar and have pictures of historic houses with solar panels, or and I also thought it would be really, I love the Main Street idea because I thought it would be really great to have something about the commercial buildings that everybody knows and the history of those buildings and what they were originally and what they are now. Things like that. And I'd be very open to all of your thoughts because you've all been here much longer than I have about, themes, about certain houses, about things that you think would be good to post. I think what I'm going to try to do is have drafts of things ready to go. Apparently there's a program where you can have things go out once a week so that I don't need to do work on it every week, but I can do a bunch of it and have it ready to go out. And I've been looking at Instagram pages for, actually, Wellfleet Historical Society has one, but interestingly, they don't do anything about buildings. They do things about items that they have in the museum. And Cambridge Historical Society has a historical commission has stuff, but nobody talks about what the commission actually does. They have things that I would have if I were a historical society, information about people and places, basically, in Cambridge. So what I'm thinking about doing is different, because part of what I want to do is just educate people about what the commission does and why we think it's important to preserve historic buildings.
We stay with the elements of the structure. I think that would be good. I like the idea of the Wellfleet solar, because that I can see how panels have been installed successfully in all different kinds of buildings. And some more successful than others. But there was the article in the Independent about the Italianate brackets on buildings in Provincetown. They took a bunch of close-up pictures of the sculptural, decorative items, and it was really nice to see. And that's what Instagram is perfect for, is,
Exactly.
It's all about the pictures.
Yeah, yeah.
And it's a good record, and I think, like you were saying, you don't have to put the address. You can just try not to, get the street numbers on the building, I guess, if you're taking a picture.
Okay. Another thing is Courtney's willing to do all kinds of things to get the word out about our Instagram account once we're ready to begin. Like she'll link it to our page on the town website. She'll post about it on the Wellfleet Facebook sites.
What other themes could there be besides, like, mansard roof, interesting roof lines? I mean, I don't know.
Well, and of course we talk about windows.
Yeah.
I should probably do something about windows, but I might need your help with that, Luke.
Sure. Yeah, I think all different types of architectural details and windows and doors. I'm trying to find a door that I see all over town, and I can't seem to find one to buy, either old or new or refurbished. And I'm wondering when these doors came about and why there's so many of them. Colors are another thing. There's all sorts of
That's great. Yeah.
colors that were used over and over again. And I mean that there's, I don't know, lots of the more technical stuff. I don't know if a photograph will do it justice, but the different mortars that were used, and some were ground up clamshells and stuff like that, and the framing lumber. I'm trying to figure out personally how all this Doug fir was used in these houses and where it came from, and if it was, barged in from the West Coast at some point, or how it got here. But there's all kinds of unique details that were repeated over and over again.
You'd be great to work on this.
Yeah, that would be great. I would, if you find out things, I would love to hear more about what you find out. I find it so fascinating that there were all these old growth forests here way back in the very beginning, and they were all cut down to build a lot of the frameworks, I guess, for the historic houses, which is partly why they've lasted so long. But that whole thing about, and I'm sure you know much more about this, my husband builds furniture, but he's talked about how the old growth wood is so much stronger and denser, and that fir now doesn't hold up, and fir back then did. And
Yeah, oh, for sure.
yeah.
I don't know where a lot of it came from originally. I mean, I'm sure it was harvested from somewhere, but not. I don't think it was like very local to where we are. But there's a lot of stuff, a lot of neat details and things that if you wanted to talk about things or look at. I mean, I get more into stuff that probably would bore people, and I don't know how photographs would do it justice, but all the different connections that they used to make in the framing and how they pegged things together, and the actual tools that were used, and that type of stuff interests me personally. But
I think that would be really cool.
I do too. I think more people, oh, sorry.
No, go ahead.
I think more people than you might think would be interested in that too.
yeah,
Yeah. Would you be willing to write anything to me or send me any pictures?
sure. Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, I can do that. I'll take
Great.
some pictures of some stuff, and yeah, if you ever wanted to talk about anything specific outside of a meeting, I'd be open to that too.
Oh, I'd love to. Can you give me your telephone number?
Sure. It's 774
Uh-huh.
722
Okay.
2662.
Okay. 774-722-2662.
Yep.
Okay, great. Do you want mine?
Sure.
It's
I'm ready.
okay. 617-519-8644.
Okay.
Yeah.
That would be great. Thank you. And I would welcome anything any of you wants to write to me or send to me, and and then we can talk about how to do it. Or not if you don't want to. If you just want to send me something and say, here's an idea, and don't get back to me because I'm too busy, that's fine too. Okay, so should we go on to the next item?
Yeah.
The next item is use of WHC email versus personal email for communication. Oh, so I asked Lydia about this because I was getting confused. I try to track what we're doing on the WHC email. And so when we use regular email, I get confused about, are we supposed to use regular email for certain things and use the WHC email for certain things? And I don't know whether you all have a way you've generally done it.
I think when it comes to communicating with people that are submitting proposals, it needs to go to the Wellfleet Historical Commission at Gmail. If something comes to my personal email, I forward it to that WHC Gmail, partly because I know it can be shared and it can be accessed more easily, and I can find it better, and it's in a separate place where it should be, not in my personal email. Then if there's a communication, like say if Tom writes or anybody, I think Carol might have sent the minutes to us at our personal email. I'm not really sure. I'd have to look it up.
Yeah.
Rather, it would be good if anybody that writes would CC the Wellfleet Historical Commission. That way, if it's Historical Commission business, it goes there more directly. If there's things that you want to communicate, like you were saying that Luke might want to send pictures or talk outside of a meeting, then you could correspond, I think, however you want to do it. It's when you deliberate outside of a meeting that you get into trouble. So.
Mm-hmm.
Right. This would just be taking a look at some examples of design or.
Right. You're not
discussing anything that would. Yeah.
Great. Okay, that's helpful. that brings to mind another thought, which is another thought I had. I don't know what you all think about this, was to maybe do something with stories about why we're on the historical commission. Because I guess partly I started thinking about, why do I care about this, and started thinking about this story of being a little girl and having this beautiful house be demolished in my neighborhood, and being really appalled, even at the age of 8, that this gorgeous house had been destroyed. And I was thinking maybe it would be helpful for people that don't seem to care about historical buildings to just know a little bit about why we value this stuff. But I don't know if we want to get that personal.
It might be a nice way to encourage, and it kind of goes into on future, maybe a next item on the agenda, which is additional members. Because we're down one since Anne left. And it might be a nice way, I think, to have those stories, even if it's just a line or two. Could be. We have David wanting to draw David Ricketts, who's listening in, but I don't know if he wants to comment. It's okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, maybe for the next meeting, I could come up with a few lines.
Mm-hmm. If people are open to that. I don't know if you want things posted about yourselves on Instagram, and I certainly don't have to do it, but it was just a thought.
Yeah.
But yeah. Okay. So any comments about that or anything else? We've gotten through the agenda.
No, we still have to do the minutes.
Oh, that's right. And the treasury report, and yeah. Okay. So sounds like there are no more comments. So do we want to go through the minutes? I read the minutes ahead of time.
I did too. Where are they?
I thought they looked great.
I thought I have them on this. Wait a second. There they are. Okay, I can do the screen share thing again.
Okay.
No, I can't. I think the key to this is to have the object that you want to share up already, so it's on your screen, and then you can click on the screen share. It's for future reference. So do you see the minutes now?
No, it just says, oh, there they are. So Luke and Tom, can you see them?
Yes.
Yes, I could see him.
Okay.
There's one more page, but if you want to, yeah. Sorry, should I go on to the next page or?
Sure.
Oh, it's just respectfully submitted, Carol.
Were you both able to read those first 2 pages?
Yep.
Yes.
So, so let's see, I would like to move to approve the minutes of whatever that meeting is. Let's see, August 6th.
Let's put that in the top here, actually. It's not there.
Yes, it is. Oh, up
Yes.
there. Okay. It's on the first line. Sorry.
Oh, okay. That might just be the way she does it. That's fine.
Okay.
That's good.
So does anybody want to second the motion?
I can second.
Okay. I'll vote aye.
How about I, Lydia?
Tom votes aye.
Luke, I.
Okay. Thank you. Is there a treasury report, Tom?
Merrill, I think we have $0
Oh,
based
right.
on what was passed by the select board at I forget 2 meetings ago that they had. But
Uh-huh.
I got a note into Gene asking him to clarify or I misunderstood. So I'll be able to report back
Okay, thank you.
next one.
Did you get the treasury stuff that I left for you?
Yeah, thank you.
And was
Yep.
it soaked?
Pardon me?
Was it soaked with rain or was it
No,
okay?
no. You
Good.
put it in a good spot.
Oh, good. All right.
Thank you.
You're welcome. And Lydia, I'm not sure what these other things mean. Do you want to say correspondence and future concerns?
Oh, well, correspondence, we haven't been to the mailbox. At least
Oh,
what you do is you call the town hall and then you, and I think this is Tom's responsibility.
I thought it was the secretaries. I haven't been over there though.
Oh, I thought you were going to be checking the mailbox. Well, either way, what happens is
No, I'm not, Lydia, I'm not here the 12 months of the year. So that's
yeah.
Okay.
all right.
Well, maybe it could be shared with Carol.
Yeah, I could do it. I don't even know how to get into the town hall. You got to make a reservation.
You just have to call ahead of time and then they'll come to the back door and hand it to you
Okay.
with a mask on.
Who do you call, Carol? Who do you call, Meryl?
Oh,
0300, the main number.
Okay.
okay. So are
Usually
you
the
okay
town-
with communicating with Carol about sharing it, Tom?
Yeah, I could talk to Carol about
Or
mail.
shifting it over?
Yeah. Okay.
Okay, thanks. Okay, and any other future concerns? Well, members and alternates are certainly an issue. It looks like has David left? I guess so. But you asked David and he said he was too busy.
Mhm.
I was also thinking it would be nice to get a younger member of Wellfleet and maybe somebody who's really experienced in digital issues.
Yeah.
Luke, do you know younger people who might be interested in history and who can do all these things that I can't do?
Oh, I can think about it. Unfortunately, I'm not very good with the technology, but I can think about it, and maybe somebody will come to mind.
Yeah,
Nobody off the top of my head. I kind of go from work to my family and back and forth, and I'm not really involved with too many people to pick their brains about stuff like that. But I'll give it some thought.
Well, thanks. Tom, do you know any young people?
Not in Wellfleet, no.
Family members. But
Yeah.
the grandchild
yeah.
in the pipeline.
I have two sons who are in the right age bracket, but they aren't here. And Lydia, do you have any other thoughts?
Well, what about the intern, the person who's working with
Oh,
Lynn?
Sarah?
Does she have is she interested? Or does she have friends that would be interested?
Well, she's not in Wellfleet.
Oh, she's not. Okay.
I can propose it. Might be a good idea. Thought.
Well, if she's not in Wellfleet, can she be on the historical commission though?
Yeah, probably not.
No.
Where is she from?
I thought Brewster.
Okay, so she might not, well, I guess you could ask her if she has friends in Wellfleet who might be
Okay.
interested.
Also,
Yeah.
put it out there on the town website. Looking, well, they do a vacancy report where it will say where there are openings on which boards and committees, but I don't know how often that gets out there. Maybe
Uh-huh.
that's something to talk to Courtney about.
Okay.
I think the Instagram account, we can play off of that.
That's true. Yeah. Well, do you think I should announce on the Instagram account that we're looking for somebody?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, I'll do it. And yeah, I can ask Courtney if she knows of anybody. Lydia, you had mentioned that article in the Provincetown Independent about the Nauset students who were recognized by the Cape Cod Modern House Trust. Maybe
Yeah,
I
that was
should
great.
try
The
to track them
architecture
down.
students. Mhm. They were architecture students. They were given awards by the Cape Cod Modern House Trust. So yeah, that's a good idea.
Yeah, but they're from the high school, so they aren't, yeah.
It may be, I know one of them was going off to college, so
Uh-huh.
yeah.
Okay.
But
Well,
that's a
maybe I
good
should
idea.
even ask the Modern House Trust if they know of people.
Mm-hmm.
Ask Peter. Okay. Okay, well, if anybody has any other ideas, that would be great, because we certainly could use another person. Is
Sure.
Nick not coming because of the digital stuff? The technology? Because he hasn't been here since we started Zoom meetings.
That's true. Yeah, I don't know.
I thought he was in a couple of the meetings.
Oh,
Oh, he
But
was.
I think so, but he didn't have the camera on and he was muted, which I was kind of inclined to do that also just because I have kids in the house and stuff.
yeah.
Yeah.
He was at the hearing.
I'm sorry?
He was at the hearing, that's right.
Yeah.
He was at the 20 Briar Lane hearing. He voted.
Yes, he was.
Hearing, yeah.
Okay. Okay. Well, I think we've been through the agenda.
I agree.
So shall we vote to adjourn?
Yes, I make a motion to adjourn. It's 7:07.
I'd
I
second
the
it.
motion. Okay, Luke seconds it.
Sure.
Meryl votes aye.
Lydia, aye.
Tom, I.
Luke, aye.
Great. Thank you all
Good, I
for
got it.
being here. Have a good dinner if you haven't
All
had
right.
it already.
Take care, guys.
So,
Yeah, you too. Thanks.
See you next
Thank you,
month.
Meryl.
all right.
Thanks, everybody.